Hey guys, welcome to Helicool's Helipad. I am Dave Anderson, your host. Last time...
Okay, so we're going to get the bearing knocked out of here and clean this hub up and have a look at the CTIS seals. Now, notice this wheel bearing has hard grease in it. The other side has oil on it.
Yeah.
So sometimes the oil will seep through and you'll get a little bit of oil here in the wheel bearing. So we need to get that into the solvent washer.
So just to show that you're washing this hub to get all that nasty out of it.
And we'll get all this RTV off of here. And you go all the way around and you look for damage on the inner race. It'll be pieces of it flaking off or pits in it. And you do the same thing with the rollers. I've already looked at this one, but we'll that one looks good. The outer race, it's real easy to look at it, see what it looks like. We'll get it up here and look at the CTIS seals. I don't see any damage to them. They look really good. We'll compare them to a new one and see what they look like. So there's two lips on this seal. The black side of the lip goes towards the air passage in the hub. And the brown goes to the outside, and there's like a spiral lock retainer in here that holds the seal in. Now there's a plastic retainer that goes on here and just sits on top of the seal, and then the spiral lock goes in. I don't know if I can get a hold of that to show you what it does. But I had a friend that was a civilian employee of the Army that worked on these all the time, and he said that they never replaced these seals unless there were big chunks missing out of them, because they just didn't have any problem with them. And you just keep shoving it in there until it comes out the other side. It's not any fun, but it works. See the grease starting to come through?
The inside is hard packed with this grease, and the outside is lubricated by the PLANETARY oil. This is the inside, and this is the outside.
Well, courtesy of my friend that worked for the Army, we actually have seal drivers. I don't know if this is the right one, but we'll find out. I think it's the right one. Now in a pinch, you could probably use something like this just fine. I just prefer that you don't beat on the seal. I've seen guys use PVC pipe, cast iron pipe, whatever you got. So there you have it. I put just a tiny bit of grease on the inside of the seal to make it easier to slide on there. They don't recommend it, but I find that it works. And there's a trick. Actually reading this Rockwell book for the 611 axle, they talk about putting duct tape on the end of the spindle to keep from damaging the seals, the CTIS seals. That gives you something to hang on to, and it's pretty solid. So you just want to slide it on there without banging into everything. And you'll get to the rubber part of the seal, and it'll get difficult, where it slips over the end of the spindle. And sometimes you can just generally wiggle it and push it on there. Otherwise, we can do it with the outer wheel bearing. I think it's far enough.
Okay.
So, hold the tape off.
Okay.
Slide the bearing on. Is there enough there to catch any threads?
No.
You want to see a trick I've used in the past? I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. I got to get down on the floor.
It's on there.
Did it go?
Yep.
What did they do with the nut? Well, that's definitely an old guy trick.
It worked.
Did it go on the first time, or did I have to kick it 2 or 3
Actually,
times?
it went on the first time. I just didn't want to tell you because you're having so much fun kicking.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
Emotional damage.
Okay, now I got to rig up the torque wrench. And this is a 3 7/8, 8-sided deep socket.
50 foot-pounds.
And then back it off a quarter of a
Quarter
turn.
turn. And then 10
To 20 foot.
10 to 20 foot-pounds back tighten. Or 240 inch-pounds. There we go. It turns both ways. Nice. Must have done something right.
Well, I didn't turn it while I was torquing it to 50 pounds, but since we didn't change any of the bearing races, I don't think we have to worry about it. These are the CTIS shims, and this is what locks the bearing adjusting nut. So if your bearings aren't adjusted right, then your clearances are going to be right in your spider gears, or planetary gears, or reduction gears, or whatever you want to call those friggin' gears, isn't going to work. And what I've done in the past is I'll mark on here with a felt pen where that hole is, so I've got some idea where to line it up. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
There's there's the mark. Okay.
So that gives you some idea where the holes are that have to line up with the pins on the nut. And we just got them. So when it's properly seated, it looks like this, and there's just that much spline showing.
And the grease is just to hold it together?
Correct. Because you're trying to put each one of these in at the same time, and if it's trying to fall apart on you while you're putting it in, it's just one more distraction.
Got it.
I'm just going to set it in there and go watch Colt's video on how to do this the Army way. And then once we do that, I'd like to check it the way I've been doing it and see what the difference is. I'll see what I mean about everything has to go in there at once. And the gears all have to be lined up. And that has to be turned the right direction. See, it does go in.
Yes, remarkable. Well, can you believe it? We just finished part 4. Stay tuned for part 5, where we are going to see if the Colt method, the military method, the way you're supposed to do it in the book, if that turns out, or if Mike Moffitt's 40 plus years of experience is the right way to go. You'll see that in part 5. Stay tuned for next time. Until then, I'm Dave Anderson signing out. You guys be safe out there, and God bless.